of Steel, that scene where he runs out after the oil tanker scene,
Yep.
where he runs out to steal the clothes.
Mhm.
I just remember seeing that. I was like, this man's a tank.
Yeah.
I was like, that is the goal right there. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
That's great.
Batman versus Superman, the opening.
Opening, yeah.
Yeah.
Opening's great.
Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's the one I've seen the least, and it's also fucking long.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Fuck. Okay, you name them. I mean, I need to think about this one.
Okay,
for a second.
Man of Steel for me is probably when he murders Zod. I feel like that's my favorite scene from that movie. Batman v Superman is the men are you're not brave, men are brave. I fucking love that scene. That is the most comic book scene
That is
you
a good
can
scene.
make.
I
And
agree.
then Zack Snyder's Justice League is right at the moment when Cyborg yells Barry, and then when Barry saves all of them. That's the
Oh, yeah?
Speed Force scene. I think that's cinema at its finest.
Favorite scene from Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Go for it.
When Cyborg sees a vision of Darkseid killing everybody. That gave me chills, and I was like, holy. I remember like seeing that, and I was like, holy fuck, Darkseid is in a movie. Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast with Matt and Josh.
Real talk, baby.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, today we talk about the man, the myth,
The goat.
the GOAT. Nev is his favorite filmmaker. Is he actually your favorite filmmaker?
No, but he's definitely like top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
top 10, man.
Who would you say is your favorite filmmaker before we introduce the man of the hour?
Currently, probably Paul Thomas Anderson.
Fair enough.
Love
yeah.
his films.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're not talking about him.
We're talking about Zachary Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Zack Attack. Oh! You know how like people who like Michael Bay films, they call it Bayhem? It's like,
They
boom!
do. I like Michael Bay
Mayhem.
films. I've never called it a Bayhem.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf did. He's like, check this out. And then Michael Bay like pretended to
Are
kick
you
him.
sure Shia LaBeouf likes Michael Bay movies?
When he gets paid, yes.
You know that time
He gets paid.
You
yeah.
know when he hosted that thing where he just invited a bunch of people to the theater and
Yeah.
he watched a bunch of like Transformers
Yeah.
2 is the one he hated the most.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he's-
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Well-
not saying. I just said Bayhem is what they call it, but Zack Snyder,
Zack
I would say
Attack?
he's I guess I'll go into it now. Zack Snyder. I think I like a lot of his films for various reasons. One of them being just like stylistically, it's his films stand out so much, and he has a special place in my heart with his
Nice.
films. I think it gives off like teenager vibes because that's how I started liking him.
Yeah.
Was when I was a teenager.
Gotcha.
I'm now in my 20s and I still enjoy his films.
I feel yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to leave a like, share, subscribe.
Oh my God, I'm so
you
sorry.
fucking asshole. I was like waiting to do it. You're like, I'm just gonna get right into it. I was like, okay. If this is your first time watching our podcast, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to. Comment down below what you think of Zack Snyder. Check out our Instagram to see some of our shorter clips, as well as TikTok, and follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
And we also have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel.
Yeah.
So you want to restate what you just said?
I think I am. The first film that I saw from Zack Snyder was this film,
What that?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel?
Um,
What's that about?
It's a great Superman movie. It's about this guy. It's about this guy named Kal-El, also known as Clark Kent.
Yeah.
He. Am I really gonna tell the Superman?
No,
story?
I was just kidding.
I was just like,
I just said it as a joke, and you actually took me as like, oh yeah, I'll explain the movie. Go for it.
whatever. So Man of Steel. I remember seeing the trailer to this at the Dark Knight Rises premiere. I didn't know who Zack Snyder was. I knew who Christopher Nolan was.
Yeah.
So I was just like, damn, Christopher Nolan's directing a Superman movie? Nope. It was this guy. And I was like, who is this guy? I didn't do any research because I was like 12 years old,
Mhm.
and that wasn't my forte.
Yeah, Zach, when did Man of Steel came out in 2013? We were 12.
2013. It's almost going to be 10 years old since this movie came out.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I can remember watching Man of Steel in theater like
Same.
yesterday because that was the first movie I watched in D-box seats.
That's
and
a good
I
one.
was hooked ever
Oh,
since
man.
then.
I love that.
I remember seeing that. And I remember like that during the movie premiere, like the trailer for what's that terrible movie called again? Pacific Rim.
No, you hated that?
Yeah. I ended up watching it. I was like, that's just...
Oh my god.
You
that's-
recommended it to me. You're like, oh, if you like Transformers, you're like, I was like, no.
Pacific Rim is like if the Michael Bay Transformers were good. Like actually.
Debatable.
What? All right, fine. We won't go into that.
But
Damn.
no, I remember seeing that. And I was like, oh yeah, that movie would be sick to watch in D-box seats. And then I watched Man of Steel, and I liked it. And I came
Yeah.
out of the theater and I really liked it.
Mhm.
And then the next day at school, everyone was talking about how shit it was, and I was
Yeah.
just silently like, I didn't like that he killed Zod, yeah, but I liked it otherwise.
I was one of those few where I was like, Man of Steel was as good as like Dark Knight Rises and the Dark, and people were like, no, for this reason, and I was like,
I wouldn't
fuck
say it's
that.
I wouldn't say it's as good as that. Like,
Yeah.
like this is where Neves and I very much differ. 'cause
Yes, we differ very
Neves
much.
really loves Zack Snyder and Zack
Like-
Snyder's films, and fucking loves
I
his
love
his DCEU Trinity.
I would say so. I got the
Or trilogy,
Superman.
I mean.
I got the Superman sweater. I got the Batman T-shirt.
Pepsi bottle, Coca-Cola glass. I don't give a damn.
A Coca-Cola glass. I don't give a damn. And then they cut to an explosion.
But
Yeah.
and that's not to say that I dislike Zack Snyder and everything. It's just like some of his movies aren't for me,
No, of course.
and I don't really like Batman v Superman.
Oh wait,
And Neves really likes Batman v Superman.
this is the one that was more polarizing, I would say.
Yeah,
So Batman v Superman.
that was actually like I came out of that one and I was like, yeah, I didn't like that movie.
Yeah, I will tell you my thoughts, my general thoughts. So when I was 15 or 14, I saw the trailer for this movie, the first teaser, and already I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like one of the best movies ever. Like that was my thought process.
Question:
Yes,
how about we just talk about these three movies instead of Zack Snyder as a whole?
sure.
Because I think there's a lot to say about these three movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
down.
better.
I
Alright,
love
We'll just
these
have the title
films.
reflect that.
I could literally
And
talk
this
about.
is how we do things.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. So yeah, I saw the first teaser for this, and immediately I hear articles like, "This is gonna be the fucking worst thing ever."
Yeah,
Yeah.
the teaser wasn't that the one where Batman's just looking up at Superman?
Yeah.
I-
And people were like, "This
Dude,
is
that
too-"
shit had me hyped.
Same. Every trailer had me hyped. The only one that I almost had a heart attack was when they showed Doomsday.
Yeah,
People were like, "I hated that." I'm like, "Dude, I almost passed out." I was like, "They actually showed it?" Because I remember.
it gave me a heart attack because I was like, oh no.
No, I loved it. I was like, they were actually doing it. Like my heart was racing, and I'm like, every trailer made me more and more and more hyped. I've never felt that.
And
before.
here's where I differ.
Yes.
Each trailer made me more and less excited for this movie.
Ah.
Because I remember they started showing so much stuff. And number one, I really hate when they do that, when they show
Yeah.
too much of the
Oh,
movie in
yeah.
the trailers. Spider-Man Homecoming did that. They had like 8 minutes of the movie, the first 8 minutes on
Yeah.
YouTube, like a few weeks before it came out. So I didn't like that they were showing so much. And then Doomsday shows up. And then fucking
Yeah.
Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman shows up.
Oh, man.
And I'm just like, how long is this movie? And I was like, how the fuck are they gonna fit all this in? And that's how I knew. I was like, this movie's gonna have a lot of. There's gonna be a lot of stories that could have been told. Like,
Yeah.
when I came out of the theater, I literally told my dad, I was like, those were like 4 different comic books that were just adapted. There was Death of
It was a-
Superman.
Oh yeah.
There was like,
Dark Knight Returns.
yeah, there was a Dark Knight Returns.
There was.
I was like,
yeah.
I feel like he probably should have like taken inspiration from them all and created something new, or
Yeah.
just focus on one of them.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Just made out with the mic again.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
Stu.
What the? F-
You don't know that meme? That what's his name? Ronaldo meme? Stu. Whatever. I don't watch soccer. I just like the meme.
Sokatoa. That was Josh's meme.
Oh yeah, that came out great to math.
Sokatoa.
But
Damn. I
sign
get
over
where you're-
opposite and adjacent.
I get where you're coming from with it. I saw this
Oh,
film like
hypotenuse.
3 times in theaters.
I watched it
the
once.
theatrical.
Has he?
Yeah, go for it.
Thanks.
That's the ultimate edition. I've
The
seen
ba-
that.
I've seen that. That's better.
I've
It is
seen
better.
this a lot more than the theatrical because although I did enjoy the film still, I was like, yeah, they definitely did cut something out.
God damn.
Something about it just didn't feel right.
Gal Gadot is so fucking beautiful.
She is. They're all beautiful. Like what the
Oh
Dude,
no.
Dude, let's be honest. The Trinity is like a pretty like yeah. When Zack Snyder makes superhero films, he casts people that look like gods.
Yeah, fucking
And
Henry
I-
Cavill.
I think that's a
Henry
yeah.
Cavill. I mean,
Henry Cavill, yeah.
I never liked this image of Henry Cavill. I always thought he looked a little awkward in this photo.
I always loved that suit of Superman.
I did-
Out of all the 3, that's the best one.
Yeah,
I feel like that was a good balance.
You don't like the
between-
the black suit?
The black suit's fine. I'm talking about the general design because even not just the black suit, but the original one,
Uh huh.
they changed it. They like added these weird pecs on his suit
Uh huh.
that just didn't look right, especially in the
remember-
Whedon version.
do you
I
rem-
was like, oh,
Yeah.
that just looks like shit.
Do you remember when they first announced Man of Steel and everybody was losing their shit because he didn't have underwear?
Yeah, people were.
Back in the simpler days. Here you go.
Fun fact about the suit, though. I don't know. I can't pronounce the costume designer's name because it's very, very long. But in this particular suit of Batman v Superman, the crest of his logo is in Kryptonian, and it spells. It doesn't spell it. It has a quote from Joseph Campbell.
Yeah.
Hero with 1,000 faces. I know it's a flicker. Don't worry.
What the fuck? All right, cut. Let's start over.
Yeah, Black Adam's here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But no, it's a Joseph Campbell quote about like heroes translated in Kryptonian, engraved in the Superman logo. Yeah.
That's fucking deep.
Yeah. Well, no, because Snyder loves
I mean, Henry
the hero journey, and
Yeah.
he implemented that within the character of Superman since Man of Steel to Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I liked how much thought he put into each character, each storyline, even if it's not what I wanted all the time. Because I'll be honest, I do have my issues with all three, including. Actually, fuck it. This is my favorite superhero film. I've seen this like.
Can I see that one actually?
Yeah, go for it. It still has the cover.
Doomsday.
Yeah, 4K Ultra.
Hello, gal.
Oh yeah.
That's that. I like. I really like this movie.
I love
really
that.
like this
I
movie.
would say it's my favorite because I'm biased. But
yeah, definitely. But I mean, everybody has biases. Even if you say
Yeah.
you don't have biases, you have biases.
Exactly.
But
Because I will admit, like my issues for each film are different. Like Man of Steel, I would say if they cut the action a bit at the end, it would be more tighter. In my opinion.
I feel like they probably. I don't feel that way. I do. Well, yes, I agree. But I also
Yeah.
think that maybe they should have given Clark Kent a little bit more scenes to have that charm that Clark Kent is supposed to have. Like he's supposed to be like a really nice guy and everything,
Yeah.
and we didn't really. He seems like that. He
Yeah.
really seems like that, but that's probably just because Henry Cavill is also like the most charming man on the planet.
right.
But like, I feel like there should have been more scenes. Like
You wanted to see more of
cute
him in
scenes of-
Smallville or
Smallville or just
Daily Planet
being-
or just in general.
just in general, like wherever
Gotcha.
he is. I just want to see more. Like that scene in the diner.
yeah.
That way, when that one shot where he's like, I think he's putting something down. He looks up at the girl and just gives her a smile. He stole my heart. I fucking fell in love.
That's the one thing about these films where, although I didn't mind at all, but I understand other people do. Is like, why didn't he talk with Jimmy Olsen? Why didn't he talk with Lois Lane and stuff like that? And I'm thinking, well, I didn't think Snyder would bring in Jimmy Olsen if he was doing Justice League, because like,
Yeah.
where do you put
If you look
where
back
do you
at
put Jimmy in
Snyder's-
that?
I don't think he'd fit into Snyder's vision really well.
No.
I mean, I've seen Watchmen. I've seen 300. I don't
Yeah.
think he'd do a good job using Superman's cute little assistant.
He did bring him in BVS, kind of. Jimmy Olsen.
We don't talk about that.
I don't care. Yeah, they fucking kill him.
Yeah, they
I-
fucking no scope him.
You know what I loved about the quote where it's like, was that a fake Jimmy or whatever? And Snyder's like, no, I was him for real. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
And I was like, that I can see so many fans just like seething in the mouth when that
Yeah.
happened. I'm like, I like how Snyder like puts in 100 of his work.
Yeah.
He never backs out of
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I can respect that. I
Yeah.
can respect that. But going back to like the lead up to Batman v Superman,
Oh, yeah.
because that was like that also came out the year we met. Like that was when we
Yep.
first started talking.
Oh yeah.
And we were like talking about superheroes. We were talking about Rocky,
Yeah.
Batman v Superman. And I remember every trailer that came out was getting me more and more exhausted because they were showing so much. And I was like, there's going to be so much shit in this movie. And I feel like it's going to be a mess. And then I walk out of the theater and it was.
Mhm.
And there was very little character work for Wonder Woman that was given. Like she's
Mhm.
in it for like 5 minutes total, probably,
Yeah.
other than the fight.
I loved her interaction with Bruce.
Which one?
The one where he's like, "Excuse me, I think you took something from me." I was like, "Is it stealing if you steal?"
Is that
from
the
a
one where
thief?"
she grabs her arm in a weird ass way?
I just love the dialogue in that scene where she's just like, "Wow, this person really thinks he could like intimidate me."
Yeah.
You're like an old
Oh,
dude in a bat suit.
How cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, her performance in this and Zack Snyder's Justice League, especially between her and Bruce,
hmm
fantastic.
So much better than the Justice League.
Oh my God!
I
don't
looked
wa-
at the Justice
Do
League.
you want to talk about disappointments?
Let's talk about my son.
Oh, let's talk about.
Let's talk about me and what my parents think of me.
Oh my gosh, that cut of Justice League, man! I saw that in theaters.
I know. I talk about this so much. The day Nevis came back from seeing Justice League, he was so excited in religion class. Dude, I have taken so much Justice League. Bro, I'm so happy for you. You're so lucky. I'm jealous. Comes back in the next day. Fourth period comes around. Nevis, how was Justice League? Hey, Josh.
No,
It was so fucking. You were so fucking upset. That's why I didn't watch it.
I was like, part of me was like, I think somebody asked. I don't know if it was Jigo or Kieran or whatever, but they were like, "What'd you think? Was it better or worse?" It's like BVS was way better than this, and they're like, "Oh," because most people didn't like that film.
Yeah.
So it kind of was just like the extra bad. It was the extra bad. It's like, oh my God.
They're like audibly like gasp.
Yeah.
No, it can't be.
And honestly, like that cut, I have erased it from my memory.
Yeah, I've seen that cut 1.5 times. I watched it
Same.
once because I watched it like a few months after it came out in my basement, and I was like, wow, this is bad. I'm glad I didn't spend money on
Like
this.
brunch. What is that? You wait in line to
What was I think
$10
one of the-
million
I remember
rewrites.
like the same night I was like in like I watched it late, so then I'm in bed. I'm just like lying down. I'm just thinking about this movie. And I'm just like, who the fuck were the Justice League? Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. It took me like 5 minutes to remember that Cyborg was a part of the movie.
I remember when they announced Justice League after BVS, and even though people didn't like this film, I was so amped still. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait. Because
Me too.
I remember Civil War came out around the same time, and people were more amped for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was still Marvel head.
Yeah,
I
was
saw
too.
Civil War, and that was when I realized I was so polarizing with most people. Because I saw Civil War, I was like, really? Like, this feels like a stupid people movie.
Oh
and
my god.
And this was me as a 16-year-old, so you know how annoying I was. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god! And that's when the Marvel segue went into a different direction for me. I was very critical of Marvel ever since then, because people...
Martin Scorsese over here.
Well, no, it's just like the praising of Civil War being like this deep, provoking action film. And I was like, I thought BVS was way
I
more
actually remember
provoking.
being one of those people. I wasn't like saying it's deep and provoking, but I was like, I kind of like this
Yeah.
two-side thing. But then I rewatched Civil War a
It's
couple
just-
years ago, and I was like, it's really not that
No.
thought-provoking. Like there is like the seeds are there, but
But they don't grow it.
They don't grow it, and they don't really go in it. They're just like it's really just a plot device,
Yeah.
which I get. It's a
Oh, yeah.
narrative tool,
Yeah.
but I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't really like this. But at the same time, I don't really like Batman versus Superman. And
Right.
I mean, I rewatched it a few weeks ago because I was bored, and I just felt like
Yeah.
I felt like watching something, but I didn't want to watch Man of Steel because I had rewatched that previously.
Right.
And I didn't have 4 hours to watch
Nope.
Justice League,
Which
and
is
I would
fair.
rather die than watch Justice League. So I was like, all right, fuck it, we're watching BVS.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? It's not that bad.
No.
Like now that I'm watching it as a 21-year-old, I'm like,
Now
it's
that-
not that bad.
Now that you've seen such classic superhero films as Thor: Love and Thunder and
Well, we-
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Hey, No Way Home was good.
No, what was the other one? Far From Home.
Far From Home was not good.
Yeah, sorry, I meant
I'm
that
sorry.
one.
I didn't like it.
Like you see those, I see those films.
I've seen
now,
it once.
and I'm like, bro, they make these films look like Apocalypse Now. man.
Honestly, like I've probably, without trying to get off topic too much, I've probably watched far from the movies, in the Marvel movies that I've watched. I'm talking about Infinity Saga
right.
that I've seen the least. I've probably seen Thor: The Dark World
Oh.
more than I've seen Far From Home,
Damn.
Captain Marvel, and Black Panther put together.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't really care for those movies. I've seen The Incredible Hulk more times than that. Because I at least saw The Incredible Hulk 3 times. I
Yeah.
know in my life.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't
Incredible Hulk,
great.
you're right.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Edward
it wasn't
Norton
that
one.
bad.
No.
I look
yeah.
back at it fondly.
Same.
And I was a kid, and I mean,
Simpler days of Marvel and superhero genre.
I think we were just also kids.
Same.
Because
yeah,
when did the
yeah.
Incredible Hulk come out? We were like
Came
8.
out at the same time as Iron Man.
Yeah, so I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
Can I-
there was nothing else to compare it to.
Can I tell you another story about this fucking movie?
Of course you can, Nevis.
It's because like I feel like I talk about it so much and the deeper meanings and symbols and metaphors behind it that I
Oh
was
my
like, you know
God.
what? I'm gonna write an essay on it for school, for film school, and that's what I did.
What? We were 15.
No, college.
Oh.
That's why I was sorry. I should have specified that.
I,
So my
um,
last year of college,
yeah.
they asked like, okay, students, whatever, you pick a film and you talk about anything about it, as long as it's over 3,500 words.
Jesus.
So I was like, what can I type that's 3,500 words? This movie,
Yeah.
and that's what I just did.
I need a copy of that. essay.
I will give it to you.
Holy.
I will give it to you personally.
As a communications major, I'm gonna have a fun time tearing apart your like.
you are gonna tear
grammar
apart.
and
It's
everything.
like, you spelled this wrong.
This is a run-on sentence. That's
Oh.
another run-on sentence.
of so many of them.
Dude, too many commas.
But the essay that I wrote about this was essentially deconstructing vigilantism within Batman v Superman and how Superman's philosophy is different from Batman's and how Wonder Woman is kind of like in a metaphorical way she represents the balance between them and trying to
Mm.
find peace on it. That's why her famous quote where it's like, I didn't fight for this many years because of how terrible the world has become, which they retcon because they didn't give a shit. They retcon. So yeah, Wonder Woman 84. Another reason why it sucks is just you kind of discredit the philosophy and storytelling behind other filmmakers, and I'm being pretentious saying that, but you know what I'm coming from. Where it's
Well,
like
I mean, you're a fucking fanboy of this trilogy.
I
think you're
am
allowed to be.
literally a fanboy.
Yeah, and I probably like these movies a lot more than the average Joe,
Mhm.
but I still am critical of them, and I
I try to be.
still don't really like. I like Batman v Superman, but I also don't like it.
Right.
And I remember that in the theater watching it, and the scene that really made me start to hate it was when Batman started shooting people, and when he started like killing people. That was for me. That was the straw that fucking broke the camel's back. That was like I was like, I really don't like this movie now. And also I remember it was fucking. I was like, it was that opening sequence. I've grown to love that opening sequence, by the way. But I remember in the theater watching, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like he falls down, then all of a sudden he starts to rise. I'm like, huh?
That was when when he was rising, I was like, oh, now I know why people were commenting this is very artsy with its like visuals.
Oh, okay. Chris, how much time do we have left?
What are we going
because
into? Okay.
we need to talk about the music. Beautiful Lie is
I
one
love
of the most
it.
beautiful song I've heard.
Yeah.
I still listen to that song. Okay, like
Beautiful
occasionally.
Lie, You Are My World.
Yeah,
Oh
especially
my
the Batman
God.
v Superman soundtrack. I think the Batman v Superman, the best part about it was the soundtrack. They went
Yes.
all in for that. I don't really love the Justice League soundtrack, even though you keep telling me to listen to
It's
it.
great.
Like,
Oh my god.
I do fuck with the Man of Steel
Man of
soundtrack,
Steel's great too.
but I think the Batman v Superman one is probably the best, except for the theme.
Oh, I love that.
I was just like,
You know what it reminds me of? That theme. It's like Batman is literally bashing your head. I am a messed up person, Josh.
Yeah.
When I saw the scene remember the scene where the guy would shoot, and then Batman just like shoots, and it's like, oh, is he gonna live? And then the car flips and it explodes.
That was how I
loved
felt.
it. I was like, yes.
And I was probably in the
They
theater.
fucking did it.
I was probably in the theater like, what? Because I'm like watching. I'm like, okay, they're not gonna die, right? And then they fucking roll over like, okay, he's dead.
Have you seen Snyder's like Vero commentaries on these movies?
Where he's like, I don't really see it as Batman killing them. I see it as the bullet kills them.
No, he doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Oh,
Like
no?
in the commentary, he's like, yeah, that guy's fine. That guy's alive. Yep, him too. Yep. Oh, he's good. Or the KGB when he explodes, like, yeah, he's just badly burned. We have him off frame and stuff. And I'm like, I love his like, I don't give a shit attitude
Yeah,
to
this
like that
fucking
he
lackadaisically just like.
Well, because I think another thing that people misinterpret, and I'll defend him on this. I won't defend him on other things because he does have ideas that I don't always agree with. Like BVS, my least favorite thing is when Wonder Woman sees the laptop of the Justice League. Remember the Aquaman logo and the Flash? And I'm like, that's just no. Don't do that. Just you know, it'd be way better.
What?
Cut that scene out, and the only mention of Justice League is like, do you think people will help? And it's like, how do you know we will need help? And Bruce is like, just a feeling. And that's the Justice League. That's it. That's all you need. You burped again.
Sorry, was that loud?
Nah, it wasn't that loud.
Oh shit!
I loved the mystery. What the fuck?
Fucking burped again. I felt it coming. I was like, let me get out of the way real quick.
No worries. But I loved the mystery. I loved the atmosphere. I just love. I wish more superhero films were like this passionate with their characters and their work. But I feel like you kind of get it at times.
Yeah.
I feel like if Matt Reeves works with the Batman character more, we're gonna see more of that.
Speaking of which, I get this poll on my YouTube and Instagram all the time. Who do you think should be the villain for the Batman 2?
Probably Mr. Freeze.
I agree.
I think
Have
so.
you watched the Batman the animated series, right?
Yeah, Heart of Ice.
Yeah, Heart
Just
of Ice.
do
One
that.
of the most heartbreaking episodes. Like the Batman video games.
Daniel Craig should play Mr. Freeze. That's my hot take.
That's an interesting concept.
I could see
sure
him-
we shouldn't get Arnold back? All right, everybody.
Chill. Freeze in hell, Batman.
No, but, God, I still like that music though. The opening scene of Batman v Superman is probably one of the most beautiful openings to a movie I've seen, regardless of genre.
That and Superman's death with the choir, like, you know, with the high pitched choir. I felt that, man. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, this is the event. When you think of Superman death, I think of that always. And it's just like, I get where people are coming from. I was like, oh, they should have made like a Superman movie to, you know, anticipate this. I'm like, nah, that's what makes it cool is like, we're on the second movie. He fucking dies, and that's how the Justice League is formed. To me, that shows tension. That shows the stakes are raised even
And I
higher.
like that tool of his death being what drives the league together, and that's they realize that they need him.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that they need they need Superman on their side.
Oh my
They need him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the soundtracks too. I think my favorites from each one is like Man of Steel is probably Zod's theme. BVS is probably Superman's death, and then Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Don't you dare say it. Let me guess.
Cyborg's intro.
Oh, I was gonna say at the speed
Yeah.
of light.
Speed of Light used to be, but then I re-listened to it, and I listened. You know when you listen to a song a million times, and now
Mhm.
you're tired of it.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh, I see.
So I switched to Cyborg, and it's like. Dun, 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 dun,
Don't
dun,
worry.
dun.
Next year he's gonna be like, all right. So now I like Wonder Woman's theme. Also, that's another thing I can't get behind.
Yeah.
I've never liked Wonder Woman's theme. It seemed really out of place,
Yeah.
and it just didn't seem to. Maybe I'm just a pleb, but it didn't seem to fit the
You
character.
know what the saddest thing?
It's
about-
better than the fucking Justice League.
Oh, you didn't like that one? Oh, I fucking bopped to that, man. I then again,
I was just working out like.
I sound like a fucking weird Tarzan, like copycat or whatever. No, I love even the weird moments. People are like, "Oh, the Icelandic women."
That was
singing."
weird. In my
I
opinion.
loved it. I especially loved how it transitioned to Martha Kent's funeral. I was like, "Oh my god, a transition that was like that made me feel something." What? I don't know. It's like because I compared it to the Joss Whedon moment,
Yeah.
and it was like Aquaman awkwardly swims away, and Batman says, "Doesn't mean I'm wrong," and I'm like, I want to fucking die. Anyways, I could talk about these three movies till the day I die.
Oh,
but I
absolutely. We
won't.
could probably go in depth into each one of them, honestly.
Yeah, but-
favorite moment from each movie.
yeah.
Go.
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
First, okay, Man of Steel. That scene where he runs out after the oil tanker scene,
Yep.
where he runs out to steal the clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember seeing that. I was like, this man's a tank.
Yeah.
I was like, that is the goal right there. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
That's great.
Batman versus Superman. The opening.
Opening, yeah.
Yeah.
Opening's great.
Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's the one I've seen the least, and it's also fucking long.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Fuck. Okay, you name them. I mean, I need to think about this one.
Okay,
for a second.
Man of Steel for me is probably when he murders Zod. I feel like that's my favorite scene from that movie. Batman v Superman is the men are you're not brave, men are brave. I fucking love that scene. That is the most comic book scene
That is
you
a good
can
scene.
make.
I
And
agree.
then Zack Snyder's Justice League is right at the moment when Cyborg yells Barry, and then when Barry saves all of them. That's the
Oh, yeah.
Speed Force scene. I
Oh.
think that's cinema at its finest.
Favorite scene from Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Go for it.
When Cyborg sees a vision of Darkseid killing everybody. That gave me chills, and I was like, holy. I remember like seeing that, and I was like, holy fuck, Darkseid is in a movie.
Darkseid talks. I mean, like, of course he did, but like, remember the scene where it's just like,
Desaad.
Desaad.
How the fuck is that guy's voice so deep, by the way?
I don't know.
Like, my voice does not
It's
go
so
that low, even if
cool.
I try my hardest.
I saw it on this
Desaad.
screen, and when he talked, I'm not kidding, the seats were moving. I was like, shit, all I gotta do is watch Darkseid talk. I was like,
What?
it's like, we will use the old ways. Boom. I'm like, dude, am I on like Universal Studios roller coaster for Justice League, man? I don't fucking know. Yeah.
I do like these movies. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
don't like them as much as Nevis does.
No, I'm
Compared to him, I'm a hater, but
No, you're not. You
No?
have a different opinion. Like you can like
all right, fair enough.
I'm blinded by a lot of these issues because like Batman killing, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Or
Yeah.
like Superman doesn't talk, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I feel like this is my favorite interpretation, and that I'll always be critical of other variations,
Mhm.
but that's life.
Yeah.
I think we're all like that in different ways, and who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind and I'll be more open-minded of different things. But at the end of the day, like I'm a nerd with this shit, and this kind of has a good place in my heart, my teenage heart.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And that's how we end the podcast.
That's how we
Cut
end
the
it.
cameras.
And Josh is
No.
like this fucking weirdo, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
Every time he does the outro, he has to say something weird.
like
Well, on that fucking weird note, we hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed this episode. Let us know what you think of Zack Snyder's Justice League trilogy.
yeah.
Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Did you grow to love it like I did? Or did you just always love it like Nevis?
Or you just mixed on it.
Yeah, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to. Check out our Instagram, check out our Twitter, check out our TikTok. And if you want to support the channel, check out our Patreon. With all that being said, we will talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace out.